You're right, guys, it's David Clayton of KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for round number 15 today for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvort. If you guys did miss the last episode, feel free to check out my channel, the playlist will be there. Not a lot of admin to get through, just sponsorship obligation. That everything won't be happening until after the race. As you can see on the right hand side, the ending of the previous aerodynamic testing period, and then the new one starts, as well as a regulations vote as well. So for now, we've only got one main thing to do, which is Sebastian Vettel actually has a development point, so we're going to spend that on the braking for him, and that is about it at the moment. We also got our new the research for the underfloor was done as well. If we look at car development current projects, the only thing going at the moment is the rear wing research. So I believe I've done front wing, underfloor, and now the rear wing. So we're going to go on to a new project now. So front wing's been done, underfloor's been done, so I believe the next thing we will look at is the side pods will be the next thing. So although I am thinking about designing another part, I wish it wasn't the rear wing actually, because that would have been okay, what I'll do, I know at some point, if I go back to the calendar, at some point, boardroom refurbishment will be complete. Oh no, those have already been done. So if we go to September, when is... That's the boardroom upgrade. Okay, the design centre is not going to be done until the weekend of the Mexican Grand Prix. So, I think for now, because I want to try and get some performance for the end of this season, so I'm going to leave I'm going to use the remaining guys that we have to design a new underfloor for this year. Oh no, we haven't got any. We haven't got anything until the ATR period anyway, so we're going to have to wait for that. We're going to have to wait for that new period anyway. So for now, if we go to the emails. Belgian Grand Prix post-race, great race for us. Underfloor research is complete. So if we look at where we are, we've got a big increase on airflow sensitivity and drag reduction. And we got a little bit of an increase on the downforce sections and that as well. What I'm going to do for the next set of next set of research is for the side pods and the chassis, and I'm going to focus them solely on drag reduction. And then, if I can, for I'll try and do a bit more research on the front wings, on the wings and the underfloor, and try and get them more towards downforce. So. I need to have a... What does the... Oh, we do some streamlining on the suspension as well, which will probably help us. All in all, drag reduction we're not going to have too much of a problem with, so I think when we get our time back again, I will... yeah, for the side pods and the chassis and probably the suspension as well, I'm going to focus them on drag reduction. And then for the wings on the underfloor, I'm going to do another load of research, but purely on downforce. So we'll I think the underfloor will focus on the high speed and medium speed downforce, whereas the front and rear wings will focus on medium to low speed. That'll probably be the better for them. But for now, we're just going to skip through and we're going to go straight into practice for the Dutch Grand Prix and see what else have we got here. Car development report, board confidence check-in. Board is satisfied with your recent work as team principal. We did get a decent result at Belgium, so it wasn't too much of an issue. So yeah, we'll skip through to practice then and see how things go.
It's another historic weekend of Formula One here at Zandvort. The track has seen many unforgettable moments, like Gilles Villeneuve's three-wheeled lap at the 1979 Dutch Grand Prix, which cost him victory. What excitement lies ahead this year? There's never a dull moment at Circuit Zandvoort. It's fast, very fast, with long straights and wide curves. But it also features two heavy banked corners, where aerodynamic improvements are sure to help our drivers. With the season nearly concluded, time is running out for the teams. Can anyone make a last-minute breakthrough? Can the leading drivers hold on? Only time will tell. The weekend begins here.
Okay, we're in the practice screen. We're going to do what we've done for the last couple of races. We're just going to skip practice 1 and see where we stand in regards to setup. Let's go for a lot of grid penalties. So we've got Leclerc, Verstappen, Bottas, Gasly and Alonso all taking penalties. Ricciardo as well. And then here we are down here with Latifi's taking the penalty, but that's inconsequential. So 51-58 for Sebastian and Lance. So let's go to the practice screen. Sebastian, 3 bads and 2 greats. Wow, that's not looking good. Right, let's see what we can do here. Right, we've come off of great for Sebastian in regards to the cornering. We'll have to see how that goes. He's pretty much the same as where he was for braking stability, and his wings and traction are in the optimal zone. So we'll see how that goes for him. I'm going to stick him on the hards and put him on the usual 22 lap run. So that is all good for, actually we need to do the, I'll worry about that in the session. As for Stroll, optimal on the straights, good everywhere else, bad in the oversteer. So let's see what we can do with this. Okay, we'll see how that goes for Stroll. I'll bring him back here a little bit to put him more in line with traction, because I'm not too sure how that's going to work if I go too far over to the max. But we'll see. We'll see. Do the same as before. Hard tyres. No, that's the wrong thing. I want to go on here and do this. Right, we'll cut away here. We'll come to we'll go to the end of their second laps in at the end of practice 2 and see where they stand after a little bit of tweaking. We just had a crash involving multiple cars. There's that Zhou and Hamilton as they come up to the corner in the last corner. Oh, Zhou has just gone straight into the back of Lewis.
Mark my words, there'll be questions asked about that later.
Do you think? Zhou just drove straight into the back of Lewis. His own fault for following him that closely. Lewis has got to have damage. Yeah, he comes in. Yeah, that's not sort of accident they want to be having during practice.
All good here.
Okay, we've just come to the end of the second runs. We've got Sebastian up to 76 at least, but as you can see, the weather has played a factor because it has been raining a lot. So as we go to Sebastian's setup, So he did drop down to 30 because of the way the track was being. So hopefully with a dry session, hopefully with the session being dry tomorrow, we can zero in on that. So we're going to leave that for Sebastian. He's done for the day. So we've just got to wait for Stroll now to finish up his run. Because at the moment he's still only on number 4 at the moment. As the track dries out. I've left them out on wet, so there's no point in putting them out on the inters. I had to change the tyres a couple of times because of that, but...
How does it feel?
Yeah, we're at 85 with Stroll.
Yeah, copy.
So that's a good run for Stroll as he comes in. And we are 3 greats, good, and an optimal. So the straights are optimal. We just need to work out where... we just need to get the traction cornering a little bit more over. So we're pretty much near the mark with Strolls, so we can sort that out when we skip through to the setup for practice 3. Yeah, we've just come to the end screen just before we go into practice 3. I'm just going to take my time to relish this, that we're up here in P2 and 3. That is purely because we got out early enough to set a time on the hard tyres. So everyone else had to set their times on either wet tyres or intermediates in the case of Hamilton and Gasly. But poor Hamilton got taken out, and Zhou has been penalised for it. So, which is understandable. You can't be that close to a car and not run into the back of them like that, especially in the wet.
Hello, and thank
but that's the price you pay if you're Zhou. He's gonna have to do that. So, going to be a dry session this time. So, let's see what we can do with Sebastian first. Right, just a few little tweaks for Sebastian. We'll see how well that goes for him. We should get a bit more clearer picture now that we're in the dry. So, yeah, we'll do that for now. We'll do that for him. Compounds, we're going to put him... can we put him back on those hards? We cannot. Oh, that's annoying. So, we're going to have to... We have no choice but to go to the mediums. Not much we can do about that. I was hoping to just use up those set of hards and keep those mediums, but it is what it is. So, we will sort that out for Sebastian. And as for Stroll's setup, let's see what we can do here. Right, again, a few little tweaks for Stroll, just to be a little bit more towards the centre of the optimal window. So we will do the same as before, get these guys on their run plans, and we'll skip to their second runs, providing no incidents take place, and we'll see how they do.
Taking a look again,
that is not what I wanted to see on Seb's first lap.
Yes, this is where they spun out.
Seb's spinning out.
And the team had such high hopes today.
Fortunately, he hasn't hit anything. So, but it's a bit annoying that he's. Oh no! Oh no! 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 Please don't say that, Sebastian. Please don't say that. This is really going to cut into our time, isn't it? I have to call him in and see if we can get this fixed. And yeah, I just sent Vettel back out after his forfix, and there on the I just saw it on the turn 1 exit. Stroll had a train of cars around him, and he's just spun out. Just as Sebastian was coming out the pit lane. That's these are not encouraging signs for our weekend. Nothing's come up. Thankfully, he hasn't damaged his car, so we can just keep him going. But yeah, that's not the sort of thing we want to be dealing with. And Stroll's just spun again.
We can take a look now. So this was the Aston Martin.
Coming into the last sector, he fortunately hasn't hit the wall. But it's just mistake after mistake now. It's starting to rack up. I'm starting to get worried for this weekend, guys. This is the way it's going to be. Just a compound. Sent Vettel out for his second run, and he's immediately
Let's see what happened.
gone off,
Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel.
locked up, and damaged the front wing.
A definite collision there. That's very unfortunate.
And I've just had the... Well, Vettel's day is done. On the setup that I thought was going to... No, I'm going to leave it on this setup. I'm not going to revert it. That's the best he's probably going to get. So we're going to leave that as it is. But I've just come to the sobering realisation. Oh no, we've got plenty of front wings, so we're good. So that will do. But yeah, this is not good for us, guys. This is not good for us, the way this is going. Right, our scruffy practice sessions have resulted... we did get 91 for Stroll on his setup, but track climatisation is not there because both guys started making stupid little errors. So we're going to go into qualifying. And in regards to Sebastian's setup, I'm not going to change it. I do believe that setup, even though it's untested, he has the better has a better chance of doing well on it. So I'm going to risk it. So we're going to go into qualifying and see how the guys do on their first laps. Okay, just coming up to the end of the first runs now. We're going to follow Stroll through. He's going to set the first benchmark time. So he comes out of the bank corner, DRS open. He's going to be followed by one of the Alpha Tauris in the Haas, 1:11. And now Sebastian, what is he saying? And he goes a tenth quicker than Stroll. So now we just got to wait and see where these Williams turn out. They still haven't come around yet, so we'll just skip to the second runs and see just before the second runs and see how we where we stand. Right, we're coming up to the 4 minute mark. Carlos just put his lap in. Bit of a weird scenario. We're actually quicker than the Williams. Odd considering the way practice went. The two Alpines are down here with us, which I don't believe for a second. They had to have hit some traffic on their laps, but everything, and Schumacher as well. Schumacher had an absolute shocker somewhere, but I suppose that's what comes from a short circuit like this. It's very short and fast, so I am going to be mindful of when we send these guys out. As there was a car that just went across the line. That was Ricardo. So that was him just finishing his lap. Touch and go whether he gets out for another lap or not, because he is quite a ways around the circuit. So we're going to leave this as late as possible to send these guys out. I am probably going to get Sebastian out first, get him near the front of the train. Or actually, no, I'll send Stroll out, get him near the front of the train, and then get Sebastian out. So coming up to the 3 minute mark. It's only a 1 minute 10 laps, so I'm not too sure whether ideally send these guys out. It'll probably be 2:45, I think, when the first car goes out, maybe? Nope. We still haven't seen Ricardo yet. That's another thing as well. So I will give it to... There's Ricardo. And there's the first cars going. So let's get them both out together. There's a lot of other cars that are now getting out ahead of them, which is not good. So everyone's where we are in the pit lane is so bad because everyone's going to get out before us, including Ricciardo, and he only just came into the pit lane. There goes the AlphaTauris now. And now there goes Stroll and Sebastian. Okay, right, so that should be enough time to get round again, but we'll have to see. Right, we're coming up to the end of the laps now. Several of the top guys have already banged in their laps now. You've got Red Bull have locked out the front at the moment with the Ferraris behind and then the Mercedes, but this is only Q1, remember, so the Alpines have got up there, so that's them taken care of. It's just a question of where Schumacher's going to go in. But we're guaranteed out of qualifying as Vettel goes across the line, as does Stroll. Latifi crosses the line, so does Albon. Yeah, that's more like it. Albon predictably goes ahead of us. And then Schumacher goes up just ahead of us. So, yeah. Again, Albon out qualifying us, but not by much. But we do have the better race pace. So, hopefully, as we skip ahead to the race, we should be able to get past Albon and hopefully control the race from there.
It's a bit of a cloudy day for the race, but the atmosphere as ever is electric. And there's Sebastian Vettel. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. And we're just moments away now. Here we go.
Right.
There's
the green flag. 5 red lights to the Dutch Grand Prix. And
it's lights out.
We are away. So let's get Sebastian on deploy, get him ahead of the Williams.
Use energy if you need it, use energy.
Which is not going to happen. Albon's actually going to get down the inside of the Haas, which is even worse. Worst case scenario. As now Stroll wants to fight us, but fortunately, Stroll is going to be preoccupied with the McLaren behind him of Ricciardo. He dropped back because of his penalty. So now, as they're too wide, 2 by 2, 2 rows ahead of us, and me and Albon are literally directly behind this, what's going on. So Sebastian's going to follow these guys through. Hopefully, when the DRS comes up, we can get past Albon at the very least. So. But Stroll's also directly behind Sebastian. Ideally, I don't want these two fighting each other. I just want them to both get past Albon and just pull away from him. So it's going to be a very quick sequence of laps. It's only a 1 minute 15 race lap around here for the leaders, I think. Because they were doing 1/8 in qualifying, but they're carrying a full tank of fuel. So I don't expect them to... be that quick, but we're going to see if we can close up with Sebastian to the back of Albon. Easier said than done, considering how quick that Williams is in a straight line. But yeah, we couldn't get past. Albon actually got quite a good start and got alongside Schumacher, but Schumacher himself has gotten ahead of Norris. So that's a thing. We'll just have a thing through for the gearbox, but I'm pretty certain 39%. Yeah, that'll be fine for this race. We've got to change the gearbox at the end of this race. We've also, because I forgot to do it after the last race, we've got to replace 2 front wings now, because Sebastian knocked one off here and Lance knocked one off at Belgium, and we've also got to replace an underfloor as well because of the spin Sebastian had. But at the moment, Albon's starting to get a little bit of distance between us, but I just noticed, he's on the softs. So he's not going to be going too long. So if we could stick with him at least, that's going to put us in a better position strategy-wise, because Sebastian's going to be going to lap 33 and Stroll's going a lap earlier than that. But I just want Sebastian to be able to stick with Albon in the DRS, and if not overtaking, just at least keep up with him. That way we've got some leeway in the strategy, because I don't think soft's viable for a one-stop round here. He's going to be doing a two-stop, as will be Norris ahead of him, along with Sonoda, Ocon, Bottas, Zhou. The Mercedes have started on the soft tyres as well, so that's a bit of a weird one from the Brackley team. Not something I thought they would do, but they obviously want to take advantage of the shorter nature of the track to try and stay reasonably in range. As Sebastian's now going to follow Albon through this last section. He's closed up a little bit, as has Stroll to Vettel, and he's pulling Ricciardo and Latifi with him. But as we go on to the banked part of the circuit, I'm going to put him on overtake mode. He's going to have the DRS. So is that rear wing going to open up? Can't see through the sign. It's not open for Sebastian for some reason. Why did Sebastian's DRS not open? He was within the 1 second. Is Albon Bot going to make another appearance in this race? I really hope that's not the case, because we were in DRS range that whole time. So Stroll's using a lot of fuel, even though he's not out in clear air. That's a weird one there. Normally they build up a bit of fuel if they're in traffic, but let's see how they do. We're going to go through this part of the track now. Vettel is building up his fuel, so I'll probably put him on push, leading up to the back straight, which I'm going to do now. And then, as we come round this corner and onto the banking, we will go overtake. He's much closer to Albon this time, so providing he actually gets the DRS, which again he doesn't for some reason, but it doesn't matter, because this is going to be a pure overtake down the inside of turn 1. We're going to leave Sebastian on overtake, so ensure he gets past, and he does. So Sebastian has now gotten ahead of Albon now, with already 3.5 seconds behind Norris. So now we're going to leave Sebastian on pushing, get him away from Albon, hopefully. But in regards to Lance, who's still got Ricciardo pretty much reading the ID code of his gearbox and diffuser parts there. He's so close. No need for a magnifying glass here for Ricciardo. As the rear wing opens for Albon, because there's DRS down this portion of the straight, which we also weren't getting, so I'm wondering if Sebastian's got a DRS problem. Okay, we just cut to a crash on track. This is the thing with Albon. This thing with Albon, it's safety car.
Safety car. Safety car.
Oh.
Just keep your delta. Watch your delta. Slow down.
Right, I'm going to ignore with both of them.
We've just had a crash on the track.
Just see on the map that Magnussen is the one who's crashed.
Focus on the Haas.
So what's happened here to warrant a safety car? He's locked up, gone straight on. Oh, that's a big one. That's the biggest one we've seen. He's got to have retired from that, surely. He's got to have retired from that. Right. We're behind the safety car, so harvest, conserve. Don't know why. Yeah, Magnussen's out of the race. We've officially had our first retirement
Take it easy.
in this career mode. So conserve, harvest, get you both of you guys right back up on fuel and ERS. No doubt a lot of the soft tyre runners are going to pit immediately. So that should include Albon. But yeah, Magnussen. Magnussen, that's actually it's surprising to say that. It's the first retirement that we've had all season. And it's come 15 rounds into the season. We've had no mechanical retirements or anything of that nature. That's like the first proper big crash that's resulted in the car being too damaged. So, yeah, that's first retirement, first safety car. We are going to save a lot of our tyres in the ERS now, which is what I want. It's also going to bring us back in touch with Albon, who is not in the pits from what I see. So this is going to compromise his strategy even more. So we're going to save up a lot of fuel, and we're going to conserve the tyres a lot now as well. So that's definitely going to help us. So we're just going to catch back up to the safety car queue. It's going to take us a little while. We are quite a ways behind the safety car, so we'll see how things go. Tyre wear is surprisingly not that much different between the softs and the mediums, so I don't know. Maybe Albon is going to go on to a one-stop, but we'll have to see. But hopefully, at the start of this race, he won't just like auto-guide himself onto the back of Ricciardo and just pull away from us again, because if he does, we're pretty much had it, to be honest.
We've got loads of energy.
Yeah, so yeah, we're going to keep harvesting that energy. So let's speed up a little bit, get these guys up to the back of the safety car. Eventually.
Energy's good.
Okay, we might as well... they're saying the energy's good. We saved up the energy, so we might as well just put them back onto neutral. They're not going to use anything behind the safety car. So speed up, catch back up to the safety car.
And obviously no overtaking until the control line.
Yeah, okay.
And the safety car's already coming in. How does that work? Right, standard, push,
Happy to push.
Yeah, copy.
standard, push.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Copy.
Make sure we get a good
We're going to
restart.
get on the
Copy.
overtake
We
with
think
Stroll,
we
because I
can
want him
leave
to
on the
get his...
tyres
Okay.
Go on, Stroll.
Use overtake.
As we restart the race. Come on, Stroll. No, of course not. So, race is restarted. We're now right on the back of Albon again. So, hopefully, now that we've got some fuel and ERS saved up, we can actually do something against Albon. I ideally want to get both cars ahead of him. But that provides unless he latches onto the back of Ricciardo and just pulls away from us again. But that's the benefit of the soft tyres, unfortunately. Speaking of tyres, what is actually our tyre temps like? Yeah, they are quite hot. So go light on the tyres for both of them. And then we'll just stick with Stroll for now, because he's the one who's right behind Albon.
Copy.
Gonna open up the ERS to go on to overtake. Getting right up on the gearbox of Albon if we can. And back to neutral now. No point while we're coming up to the corners, but yeah, this is can't do much against Albon while he's on those soft tyres from the looks of it, and it's this sort of circuit is appearing to be better for the Williams than it is for us, because we're really struggling to just like stay within touching distance of him. I just want Ricciardo to break that DRS that Albon has on him. So we don't end up being left behind.
Save fuel.
Yep.
It's not looking good for us. Albon has fallen out of DRS of Ricciardo, so that is good news. So now, when DRS gets reactivated this next lap coming,
DRS will be active.
we should be in a bit better position to do something. Now I'm going to go back to... Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Sebastian Vettel...
Oh man, that was such.
Sebastian Vettel
It's a collision.
has just
Let's
wiped
take
the
a look
both
at
of
the
us
replay.
out.
We can take a look now. Taking a look again, it involves
Vettel
Sebastian
locked
Vettel.
up and ended up crashing into the back of his teammate. Of all the people I
Here's the
expected to
collision.
do that, it
It's
definitely
caused
wasn't
absolute carnage.
Vettel. And both cars are now out of the race as a result. We're talking about first retirements ever in the career mode. It's then followed by our first retirement, and it's a double retirement. Well, guys, this is a shorter episode than expected. It's all well and good giving Vettel a time penalty, but it's not really much point if you can't serve it.
Sebastian, we need to retire the car.
Yeah, copy.
It's another safety car, I'm assuming, as well. Yeah, the safety car's out, but that was an absolute disaster for us. Right, I've just fast-forwarded to halfway through the race, and look who's finessed their way into points. Of course, it's Alexander bloody Albon. I swear, if this game does this to me, double retires my cars, and then gives Albon points, I'm going to hit the jackpot. Where's... Right, Ocon's going past. Where's Zhou? He's 3.1 seconds behind. Right, I want Zhou to get on the back of Albon, overtake him, and knock him out of the points. If Albon's tyres don't wear out first, which I hope they do. Okay, Zhou, thank you, Guan Yu Zhou. Thank you so much. I do appreciate this, because I don't want Albon scoring points after we got nerfed in the manner that we did. Absolutely not accepting that. And now, Alonso, 7.2 seconds behind Albon, but I don't know if that's going to matter because I think Albon's going to pit anyway, but it's nice to see that Albon is knocked out the points on track rather than through strategy, to be honest. We're just coming into the last few laps of the race, last 12 laps. And as it stands right now, Sergio Perez is leading now, so he's got definitely got a momentum boost from winning the last race at Belgium coming into this race. But our team order's going to come into effect because just behind him is Max Verstappen. And he's only 5 seconds behind Perez with the fastest lap as well. But will Red Bull implement the team orders and allow Max to win his home Grand Prix? Meanwhile, the Ferraris in the background are now fighting side by side. Remember, this is a championship lead at stake here. Sainz versus Leclerc. Sainz is just going to keep ahead of the Monegasque, who's going to go back down the inside of turn 3. And now we're going to watch them go side by side through this section, as they go swoop up over the crest through the right-hander, and Sainz is just going to get that. But no, Leclerc is going to have another look, and no, this time Sainz definitively shuts the door on him. But that has allowed Verstappen to pull away from them again. Red Bull seem to have found some pace in the second half of the season, as Leclerc now is having yet another look at Carlos. But yeah, no, the Red Bulls seem to have found some extra pace in this second part of the season after the summer break. Meanwhile, you've got the former teammates, Bottas, just ahead of Lewis Hamilton. As they come up to set to 3, as Hamilton with DRS is going to go around the outside. He's going to have the inside for this corner. He'll get the P5, but Bottas is going to get the second bite of DRS down the pit straight. Round the bank corner, very Talladega style, and as we go down the home straight, and there goes Bottas straight back into P5. Lewis was a little bit trigger happy there to make that move, on Bottas, and Bottas has made him pay for it. Meanwhile, Russell is fighting off Ocon and Zhou for P7, and then Norris will round out the top 10, but he has got Alonso bearing down on him. Alonso pulls out. He's going to go for the move into turn 1. He's got the braking, but Alonso is just ahead. But do remember, Norris is on the soft tyres. They're a little bit worn out now. They're bringing themselves into line with Fernando's hards. But Fernando, the old man of the grid, he's going to fight this all the way. Former teammates, technically, in 2018 at McLaren. Lando was reserve driver while he was racing in the F2 season that year. But Alonso does get ahead, but Norris, he's still there. He's still going to fight that back. He won't get it on this straight. He won't go for the... He's thinking about the move. He has a look, but thinks better of it. Pulls back in. He's going to go down the main straight is where he wants it. But at the moment, we've got... we just cut there. Zhou had a look around the outside of Ocon briefly at turn 1. That was a ballsy move from the Dutchman. And then we've still got Hamilton chasing Bottas. Leclerc still hasn't got past Sainz, but they've actually fallen away a little bit from Verstappen. They're now 2.7 as opposed to the 2 seconds it was before. And Verstappen's only catching Perez at a rate of a tenth a lap. So the way it stands now, it looks like Perez is going to get his 3rd win of the season, it looks like, but still got 10 laps to go. And the way this Grand Prix has been, anything is likely. Right, we are now officially on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Perez, thanks to the back markers, has pulled out his gap to Verstappen. Verstappen, in turn, has pulled his gap out to Sainz, who's broken the DRS of Leclerc. So this looks to be the set order. Meanwhile, we've got Hamilton, who's still fighting Bottas, and Bottas is going to come back at him down the main straight again and retake that P5. So it's going to be a race to the line for those guys as Hamilton sticks his nose back down the inside of turn 1. Bottas, though, gets the better traction out the corner and pulls away. Russell has finally managed to break away from Ocon and Zhou. Zhou's actually gotten ahead of Ocon, who's dropped back massively. So his tyres have gone off. And here, as we come on to the main straight again, it's now a 3-way fight for the last points paying position as Alonso and Norris are joined by Pierre Gasly. So we've got a couple of fights up and down the road. Albon has dropped back to where I thought he would do. Fortunately, he was on that 2-stop. But as the way things, we just cut to the end. Sergio Perez has won the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvort, and it's a Red Bull 1-2. As Verstappen takes P2, Sainz will take 3rd, Leclerc P4, and Hamilton has gotten back ahead of Bottas. This is going to be a race to the line between these two. We're going to stick with it to the end. Hamilton rounds the corner. He's going to move to the inside. What about Bottas? He's going to get him at the line. He does! Oh! Bottas just gets Hamilton at the line by 0.04 of a second. That is so close between those two. It's so close that it's actually glitched the times out. It's Bottas who should be 14.8 behind Leclerc. But wow, 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 wow. And now we're going to cut to this fight. Norris has actually pulled away from Alonso and Gasly, and Gasly and Alonso are going to fight to the line. But yeah, wow, that was quite the finish there between Bottas and Hamilton. But yeah, Red Bull, they've definitely found some pace in this after the summer break. Perez will take his 2nd win in the row, his 3rd of the season. Bit of a glitchy end there, because we definitely didn't finish that race. Sergio Perez, on the other hand, did on the top step. Max Verstappen 2nd with the fastest lap. And Sainz will round out the podium ahead of Leclerc, so he'll close up back up to his teammate in the championship. And then, yeah, look at that. Look at that. 20... it says that Bottas's time was a little bit more than Hamilton's, but it's actually the other way around. So Ignore that. And then we've got Russell, Zhou, Ocon and Norris rounding out the top 10. So in the drivers' standings, needless to say, don't forget, the first retirements of the season, first one was Magnussen, he was the official, and then we joined him. That was shocking what happened there. 100% on Sebastian. He got way too close. There, but a driver with his experience should have known better. Sebastian. So, in the driver's standings, Leclerc is still in the lead, but Sainz is close to gap by 3 points. And Sergio Perez, long way back, but he increases his lead over his teammate Verstappen, who's only got 1 win this year. If you look at the wins, Leclerc's got 7, Sainz 4, Perez 3. Verstappen has only got 1 race all season. From, let's be honest, unfortunately, sloppy driving. I know a lot of Max fans don't want to hear that, but it is an automated game. I don't make the rules. Max Verstappen has just not been, he's not been brilliant this season. He has been, the races he has finished, a lot of them, Perez has finished in front of him, even in the lower point standings. He's been pretty well shown up by his teammate this year, just through sheer consistency. And Max, if he hadn't made those mistakes, he would be up here with Leclerc and Sainz, but it is what it is. Hamilton, Russell, Bottas has now joined this fight between Russell and Alonso. He's gotten ahead of Alonso by 6 points with that 5th place finish, so great driving from the Flying Finn there. And then Gasly and Ocon round out the top 10 in the constructors. No change still. Ferrari still in a solid position, 140 points ahead of Red Bull. That's going to take some overhauling and some double DNS from Ferrari if Red Bull want to make that up. Mercedes, solid 3rd place. They're not in any threat from Alpine and Alfa Romeo at the moment. And then here we are, still down here with no points and 2 ruined cars. So this is going to be one heck of a repair bill we're going to face after this race. So yeah, shorter episode, guys, but as you can see, a lot of red exclamation marks, and with good reason, and we've got not a lot of time to get that done before the next round at Monza. So a lot of emergency builds are going to be taking place in the next episode. We've only got 4 days to do it, so we've got to get it done now, otherwise we're going to be in for a whole world of problems. But for now, guys, we're going to leave off the episode there. If you did enjoy it, for all the drama it has provided, do feel free to leave a like and a comment down below. It really helps. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. I am David Clayton of KZR Racing. We'll see you next time for round 16 for the Italian Grand Prix. Goodbye.